Take a glance underneath the surface of the waves, and you're quite literally met by a sea of life. Coral reefs are one of the most beautiful and lively parts of the ocean. The most iconic ocean landmark is the Great Barrier Reef, a string of around 900 islands and 3,000 individual reefs hugging the coast of Australia. Their beauty and life attract tourism and recreation around the globe. Sadly, our activities bring threats to these fragile ecosystems. Scientists say that without change, we may lose up to 90% of our coral reefs in the next 30 years. That's in our lifetime. Coral reefs provide protection and home to 25% of all marine life. 9 million plant and animal species live on coral reefs, including anything from algae and plankton to sharks and sea turtles. The reef provides shelter, food, and habitat for many of the animals in the ocean. And to think, these huge living structures are made from tiny little animals called coral polyps. These amazing little organisms may be able to create stunning structures, but they can be very sensitive to stress from things like pollution. Every year, 8 billion tons of plastic enters our oceans through our waterways. Plastic travels thousands of miles along its journey out into the ocean. Plastic can take hundreds, even thousands of years to break down, meaning it all just keeps adding to an ever-growing problem. There are two types of plastic in our oceans. Macroplastics are large pieces of plastic or fishing line. Microplastics are the result of plastic being broken down. As plastic breaks down into smaller pieces, it creates microplastics. These pieces are smaller than 5 millimeters. Microplastics can be ingested by corals as well as other reef dwellers. Larger plastics can block out much needed sunlight, which is used by the zooxanthellae and corals' tissues to photosynthesize. Without the help of these photosynthetic algae, coral will starve. Macroplastics also easily get caught on corals, especially branching types. It can physically harm the coral polyps and their structure, leaving them susceptible to disease. Scientists have found that plastic increases coral disease risk from 4 to 89%. Luckily, hope is not lost. The more we learn, the more we can do to help these fragile reef systems. Once a threat is removed from a reef, these ecosystems are resilient enough to become healthy again. We can help remove these threats by preventing plastic from entering our oceans in the first place. An easy way to do this is limit the amount of single-use plastics that we use on a daily basis. We can use reusable water bottles, straws, and grocery bags. We can also encourage the use of less plastic packaging by choosing products that use less or even no plastic at all. As consumers, we play a huge role in what we see on our shelves. Each of our small daily choices will add up. I hope you'll take the time to make even one small change in your daily life and continue to help educate others.